This conference will now be recorded.
Welcome again to the podcast series, the Quarantine Podcast Series, brought to you by RPA Nuggets. And today is day 2 of the podcast series. And today we will be talking about cognitive analytics. So we'll be looking at what it's about, we'll be looking at the different ideas around cognitive analytics, its applications, real life examples of where it's applied in real life, and we'll hear hopefully some questions from you guys. So, what is cognitive analytics? Well, cognitive analytics basically offers a way to bridge the gap between big data and the reality of practical decision making. Artificial intelligence, machine learning, and natural language processing have moved from experimental concepts to potential business disruptors, harnessing internet speed, cloud scale, and adaptive mastery of business processes to drive insights that help real-time decision making. For organizations that want to improve their ability to sense and respond, cognitive analytics can be a powerful way to bridge that gap between the intent of big data and the reality of practical decision making. For decades, companies have dealt with information in a familiar way, deliberately exploring known data sets to gain insights, whether by queries or reports or advanced analytical models. Explicit rules have been applied to universes of data to answer questions and guide decision making in organizations. The underlying technologies for storage, for visualization, for statistical modeling, and business intelligence have continued to evolve, and we're very far or far from reaching the limits of these traditional techniques. Today, analytical systems that enable better data-driven decisions are at the crossroads with respect to where the work gets done. While they leverage technology for data handling and number crunching, the hard work of forming and testing hypotheses, tuning models, and tweaking data structures is still reliant on people. Much of the grunt work is carried out by computers, while much of the thinking is dependent on specific humans and specific skills and experience that are hard to replace and hard to scale. So what we see now is that for the first time in computing history, it is now possible for machines to learn from experience and penetrate the complexity of the data to identify associations. And this field that we are referring to is cognitive analytics. It's basically inspired by how the human brain processes information, how the human brain draws conclusions, and codifies instincts and experience into learning. So instead of depending on predefined rules and structured queries to uncover answers, cognitive analytics relies solely on technology systems to generate hypotheses, drawing from a wide variety of potentially relevant information and connections. So, do you have any questions at this moment, Iona? No questions so far. Okay, I'm just going to open up my chat so I can see if you've got any questions. So cognitive analytics basically can push past the limitations of the human cognition, allowing us to process and understand big data in real time, undaunted by exploring large volumes of data or wild fluctuations in form, in structure, and in quality. So context-based hypotheses can be formed by exploring massive numbers of permutations of potential relationships of influence, and techniques that have been applied to the study of reading, to the study of learning and language development. So let's look at a few applications of cognitive analytics. The first one that we see here is smart IoT, which is the Internet of Things. Basically, what this involves is connecting and optimizing devices, data, and the Internet of Things. The next things to become connected in Internet of Things will be whatever that hasn't been connected yet. But assuming we get more sensors and more devices, the real key is what is going to connect these devices or things. And to me, it is advanced intelligence at the edge. For example, we see that disconnected mesh networks like swarms of drones or remote facilities filled with smart sensors and actuators need to coordinate or accomplish various tasks without being connected to a mothership or a motherboard. So basically, cognitive analytics and cognitive AI agents can give swarms of devices situational awarenessness and make them work together to solve different problems. The next example or the application, oh, your name is pronounced wrong. Sorry, Ayana. Okay. So it was written Iona. That's why I kept saying Iona. Oh, oh. Thank you for the correction, Ayana. I'll remember. I'll definitely remember. So yes, we'll look now at the next application of cognitive analytics, which is AI-enabled cybersecurity. As soon as artificial intelligence becomes sophisticated, we will see a surge in the number of intelligent cyber attacks. This rise in cyber attacks will result in an explosion of network penetrations, increasingly sophisticated social engineering attacks, and an unroll of intelligent computer viruses like wildfire. Our only hope to fight these attacks would be to use data security encryption as well as enhanced situational awareness powered by artificial intelligence. So this will provide document, data, and network blocking using smart distributed data secured by an AI key. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense to you. Please do feel free to stop me where you feel something is unclear. Now we look at the third application of cognitive analytics, which is the next generation search. This is very exciting. So we all love Google for what it does. Just with a click, we gain access to information which is filtered from billions of web pages. But it's also true that the results we get do not always solve the query. Google has effectively used a decoy algorithm that ranks pages based on popularity as well as on keywords. The future now lies in the intent and the reasoning behind the search, or the intent and reasoning based search that produces the highest accuracy and relevancy results. We will be using an AI-based search engine that makes all of this possible. Whether the offering will be from Google or not is yet to be discovered. And now the last application of cognitive analytics is content artificial intelligence, which is a solution powered by cognitive intelligence that continuously learns and reasons and becomes smarter and can simultaneously integrate location, time of day, user habits, semantic intensity, the intent, the sentiment, social media, contextual awareness, and other personal attributes. So this allows for personalized media delivery and content monetization. Real-time data analysis accompanied with cognitive intelligence can finally bring intelligent assistance approachable in a real sense. So now we're going to look at some of the examples of cognitive analytics. But before I do that, just want to pause for a second to see if you've got any questions so far, Ayana. No questions, and we are joined now by somebody else, Muddy. Hi, Muddy. Welcome, Muddy. Very, very happy to see you. Welcome to the podcast. So the next slide here, we have a few real life examples of cognitive computing, right? Or cognitive analytics applications or examples of cognitive analytics in real life. So entrepreneurs of today are looking for ways to leverage cognitive computing applications in a wide variety of industries. So the first industry that we see, which hugely applies this concept, is the finance industry, right? An example of one financial corporation is Vantage Point AI. I'm not quite sure if you guys are aware of it, but it's a financial institution that provides accurate, fast-based investment recommendations. And it does that through the power of cognitive analytics. So choosing a well-performing stock has traditionally been a guessing game for many investors, right? And I'm sure some of them are still using traditional ways of choosing stocks and bonds on the stock market. But with the help of machine learning and with the help of artificial intelligence, investors can feel more confident in their investment decisions, which are now powered by cognitive analytics. And Vantage Point AI is one organization that uses cognitive analytics to provide accurate decision making so that investors can make the right investments, right? And this organization is considered a leader actually in investment trading software research and development and has been shown to forecast stocks in 12 US sectors, including healthcare, energy sector, financial sector, as well as technology. So it's it's a very reputable organization that vastly uses this concept. The next example in real life is in the healthcare industry, and one organization that uses cognitive analytics is called WellTalk. So WellTalk provides access to reliable, up-to-date health and benefits information. So if erroneous health information on the internet was not prevalent enough, new and often conflicting health research is being published every single day. These realities make it difficult for people to find accurate answers to their medical questions. So WellTalk, which is a healthcare institution or a healthcare organization, offers a cognitive powered tool called Concierge that can instantly process large volumes of data to answer questions and therefore make intelligent, personalized recommendations for the patient. So the WellTalk Concierge offered to customers and health insurers provide similar organizations such as health insurers and general customers a way to help their subscribers and patients improve their overall health. So the WellTalk Concierge is basically an AI-powered chatbot that was built with an IBM system called IBM Watson. I'm sure you guys know it, but it's the IBM Watson Health um, tool that provides on-demand answers to questions about benefits and healthcare costs that are offered by WellTalk's concierge tool or cognitive analytics tool. And then the last application that we see is in the sports and entertainment industry. So there is an organization called EdgeUp Sports, which is in the sports and entertainment industry. And their challenge was basically helping coaches, personal trainers, and fantasy football enthusiasts. So it made a name for itself by helping some fantasy football players gain an advantage on the competition by leveraging the cognitive analytics technology applications to help them draft and manage their teams. So they have a mobile app which allows users to ask questions such as, do the Packers play better on grass or on turf? Or are the Vikings defensive players healthy this week? So those questions are provided by the players on the app, and the power of cognitive analytics gives them accurate, precise answers. Any questions? Right, so we'll move on to the next slide. Let us look at a few benefits of this technology. Why use cognitive analytics, or what type of value can we get from using cognitive analytics? So the first benefit is that it puts every employee behind the wheel. So in the automotive industry, the only thing more unique than the make, the model, and the color of every car is the financing package for every customer, which is unique to every customer. Each driver has a unique mix of income sources and savings that are used to determine the financial offer, the loan offer, which really poses a huge challenge for financial service agents who must look through all of this data from the customer and thereafter determine the most beneficial price and payment plan for both the buyer as well as the manufacturer. So what we are seeing now is that with the customer's consent, agents now use cognitive technologies to search and analyze the customer's sources, ranging from their driving history to their credit score, and then create a transparent view of the customer, right? A transparent 360 view, holistic view of the customer, which will then decide, help make a decision of the financial plan or offer that the companies, the manufacturing companies or the motor companies can offer the customer. The next benefit of using cognitive analytics is that it can detect product safety issues proactively to avoid costly recalls. So when it comes to assessing product performance, cognitive analytics is basically incomparable. By monitoring usage data and crash reports, cognitive technologies can quickly identify the source of a device malfunction and determine the best course of corrective action, be it a recall, software update, or assembly line adjustment. So product issues can have a serious impact on business, and by harnessing the power of cognitive analytics, such challenges can be mitigated. And the last benefit that we see is that cognitive solutions can improve everybody's performance in an organization. Nothing hinders more performance or nothing hinders someone's performance, such as poor health. And cognitive technologies are therefore helping mankind combat some of the world's difficult diseases by pairing decades of clinical research and patient data with cognitive analytics. I think a lot of government officials are now starting to see why it's important to use the power of technology and not really run away from these concepts because they sound so intimidating. I made the example yesterday of the Taiwan government who used big data, who used business intelligence and intelligent automation to predict the impact of the coronavirus when they heard about it last year in December from China. And they were smart enough to take action then and rely on the data that they were studying from the China, um, from when China was starting to have the coronavirus impact. And they started mitigating that risk. And in doing that and trusting the data using these tools, they were able to mitigate the number of infections that could have hit Taiwan. And to date, there is about 139 or 140 people in Taiwan that are affected by the coronavirus, and they have reported only 2 mortalities to date since 2019 December. So that's it from me. Do you guys have any questions? Any comments? Doesn't have to be a question, but it could be a comment as well. Thank you, Madi. No questions. Ayana? No questions from Ayana. Okay, cool. So thanks so much, guys, for joining in again today. I hope I will see you tomorrow for the next podcast series, which will be based on artificial intelligence. Have a good night and a good day to you, Ayana. Yeah, actually, Taiwan did that. Yeah, Taiwan used intelligent automation, business intelligence tools, as well as they 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 sourced the data when China was starting to experience a spike in the coronavirus infection, and they took the data seriously and they used intelligent automation to predict how coronavirus would affect them, and using that they started implementing mitigation strategies so that people can get tested so that they could mitigate as much as possible the risk of the coronavirus infecting people in Taiwan. So they did that. So that was great from the Taiwanese government. Thank you so much, Madi and Ayana. I will see you guys tomorrow. Thank you. Cheers.